Okay, so now we're going to start with our accounts payable module. And as with every module, we have a maintain files. So the first thing we're going to do is go in and show you how to maintain the system options. And this is how to set up all of your defaults. You have division entries here. You have, and because payables are not divisional in this case, because you're really only separating your sales, not your expenses, we don't actually use true divisions. It again tells me my period. It tells me, and I'm going to change that to 5 because some of this is written in the 5th period. It tells me to post in batch or in detail. We always want to post in detail, not in batch to the general ledger, because it makes it look more like a checkbook as opposed to just one big batch of 20 checks summarized in one. Okay, do you understand the difference of that right here? Okay? Yeah. Okay, summarize check. We don't want summarize. We don't want any summarizing done here. Then this sets up all of your aging for your age trial balance for your payables. Defaults tells you where it's going to automatically default to should you forget to put something in. Always take discount and number of checks to print. That's all it does. Any questions on the system options?
No.
Okay, we'll go ahead and save that and go back to our maintain files. The next thing is how to enter a vendor. So we're going to go ahead and enter a vendor here, and like AWR ribbons, would they be in here already, or?
In here? No.
Okay, well, there are no vendors in here at this point except a couple. So what we want to do is go ahead and set some up. Like for instance, let's go ahead and set up Office Depot. And then I'm going to also set myself up because that's a good, in fact I'm going to set myself up because that's a good example of what you have to do for a 1099 account. I'm a 1099 vendor. A 1099 vendor means that if you pay them more than $600 in a year, you are required to send a form, just like a W-2, to an employee, a 1099 to a non-employee. So when you set up a new vendor, all you do is come to the vendor entry screen, hit the plus sign, and once you hit the plus sign, it's going to automatically assign it a vendor number. I hit yes to this and I can set up the vendor. So the vendor is SMH Consulting, and my address is P.O. Box 2611, and I am in 30116 112 zone in Carrollton. On yours it automatically fills in the city and the state. On this one it's just not. And the phone number is 770-214-2053. My fax number is 770-214-8931. My email address is shalstead@smhconsulting.com.
That's your phone number.
770-214. Oh, that's right, because no dashes. I don't know what he did here. 770-214-2053. Inconsistent programming. If I were a vendor providing you with merchandise to sell, I would check this Create Auto PO. The system has the ability to automatically recommend what you need to buy and then automatically generate the purchase order from that. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is go over here to my defaults. My default payable is the $2,000. What's my default expense account? The default expense, as a rule, is going to be computer consulting. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to locate consulting. And I don't know that it's in here. C-O-M. It's not under consulting. It's going to be in the 7,000, so I'm going to go back up here in the 7,000s and we'll just try to find it. And if not, we'll put one in. Probably professional fees. That'll work too. Okay, so we're going to choose that, and when I do an invoice for me, or I post an invoice, it's going to automatically bring that up. But I can change it at the time. Okay? One of the things I'd like to see is yesterday you used your credit card to pay for lunch. Do you have that receipt?
Sure.
We're going to use that receipt to show you how to set up your credit card. Okay, well, we'll make one up.
Okay.
He's getting upset with me. Look at him.
No, I'm not.
Okay. So, it says, do you always want to take the discount? You always do, obviously. And am I 1099 vendor? And I am. And if you look down here at the bottom, it says enter an I if I'm an individual or a B if I'm a business. Well, I'm an individual, so I'm going to enter an I, and it's going to automatically open up my social security number. Okay? Then it wants to know what form it goes on, and it's either a dividend, an interest, or a miscellaneous. It happens to be a miscellaneous income. Then oops, gotta be caps. Miscellaneous income, and then it's what box does the number go on the 1099. I'm just going to tell you, it's box 7. Okay? And for everyone. Because you have to kind of look at a 1099 to understand that, but that's what it is. It's box 7. And then, am I taxable? Do I pay, do you tax me? No, I don't. Is this a freight in or freight out or an other type? I don't even know what that means because that's a new feature. I have no clue what it means. And then I could go over here and let's say, for instance, you did want to separate the expense, part of the warehouse to JD Import, part of it to Raj. You would go to, and let's say this was the warehouse rent. If you click on here, it lets you distribute by percentage. This percentage of the rent goes to JD and this percentage goes to Raj. Okay?
Okay.
All right, and the last thing you need to fill in is over here, and this is kind of unfortunate. Click Save first, then click on Remit to Address. And you have to actually fill in where the actual payment is going. So, 2234. Huh? No. We never go up there.
Is that the name or the address?
That's the name, and I'm putting it in the wrong place. Cut, paste, and this is, for instance, if you have a vendor that you buy from who's factored, you would fill in their factor's information here, and when the check cuts, that's where it'll print to. Okay? Any questions?
No.
But it won't default
Will
to
not
the
default.
address.
No. So you have to fill it in. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and save this, and this vendor is now set up. Okay? Any questions on how to set up a vendor?
No.
Okay, let's go to terms codes. To set up a terms code in payables, let's see if you have any in here. You have a couple. Let's set up 2% net 10.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm just going to call it 2N for 2% net 10. Give it the description, 2% net 10 days. In this case, I'm going to put in here 10%, and it's due before 2 days, 10 days. Otherwise, it's going to revert back to net 30, full amount. So if it's paid within 10 days, it's going to automatically take the discount if that's the terms that you got. Okay? Any questions on setting up terms?
No.
Now, sometimes you have what's called dating. Okay? You might have dating to where you buy Halloween goods and they're not due to be paid for until the 10th of October. In that case, you would say due on a specific day and fill that in. It's due on the 30th or the 10th. Okay? Any questions? Okay, well that's how you set up a terms code. Continue. Bank code entry is very similar. You create a code for the bank that you're using, and in this case, we only have one bank account. Tell it what the account number is that, on the general ledger that you're associating the account with. And then down here, tell it what your first check number is. Okay? And the system will increment it for you. Questions?
No.
Okay. Author entry isn't supposed to be here, it's really in the sales order module, we'll get to that later. Any questions on maintaining files and accounts payable?
No.
Okay, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and end this recording.